Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association. Missouri produces wood pallets, railroad ties, white oak barrels, hardwood floors, and more. Details on the variety of products made in the state are at choosewood.com.
Before we start the Gateway, we want to take a moment to thank you for listening. We are curious to learn about why you listen, what you like, and what you don't like about the podcast. We've created a short survey to find out. Go to gateway.show to fill out that survey. It should not take more than 3 minutes, and you'd be helping us out a lot. Again, that's gateway.show. Thank you for your time. And now, today's podcast. From the St. Louis Public Radio Newsroom, this is The Gateway. It's Monday, February 24th. I'm Wayne Pratt. Ahead, gun violence has taken a toll on children in the St. Louis region over the last year.
It's not a lot of older people dying from gun violence. Right now, it's a lot of teenagers dying. Our closest friends dying.
We will have a conversation between two teenagers about what it's like to be surrounded by guns and what can be done to change that. First, the headlines. Missouri Republicans are focusing on the possible re-election of President Donald Trump and steering the country away from socialism. Those are among the main themes to emerge over the weekend at the annual Lincoln Days in Springfield. As St. Louis Public Radio's Jacqueline Driscoll reports, it's the largest annual gathering of Republicans in the state.
Their Trump Victory Initiative has 3 priorities: communicating the success of Trump, training volunteers, and registering voters who are fleeing from Democratic states. Gene Evans, the executive director for the state's Republican Party, says they're not counting on the media to spread the word about the good done by the GOP.
We're seeing a lot on the left talking about communism and how the economy isn't working for them. But what we see in Missouri, real statistics, where we have record low unemployment, real wage growth, that the people at the lowest end of the spectrum are gaining the most in wages.
Pro-life and pro-Second Amendment are still very important messages for the entire party leading into 2020. In Springfield, I'm Jacqueline Driscoll, St. Louis Public Radio.
Radio's from St. Louis University shows more children nationwide are going to the emergency room for sexual abuse cases. Here's St. Louis Public Radio's Shayla Farzan.
St. Louis University researchers say the rate at which kids were admitted to the ER for confirmed sex abuse nearly doubled from 2010 to 2016. Jesse Helton is a SLU professor of social work and one of the study authors. He says the results were surprising, given national trends in child sex abuse cases.
All the trend lines that you've seen in the last 15 years has shown the rates of child sexual abuse going down, but for emergency departments, it's been climbing.
Most of the cases were adolescents, ages 12 to 17, and about 85% were girls. It's unclear why more kids are showing up at the ER for sex abuse, but Helton says it's possible that it's related to increases in sex trafficking of young girls. I'm Shayla Farzan, St. Louis Public Radio.
A coalition of community organizations, churches, and nightclub owners is planning marches tonight to call for action to reduce gun violence. The Peace Be Still coalition events in St. Louis and East St. Louis follow another shooting death of a child over the weekend. A 6-year-old boy was killed and his 9-year-old sister was hospitalized following a shooting Saturday afternoon in North St. Louis. Police say the two were with a woman in a vehicle when they were shot near Euclid and Highland Avenues in the Kingsway East neighborhood. The woman was injured by shattered glass. The 9-year-old is expected to recover. Gun violence is part of life for teens in many parts of the St. Louis region, where more than a dozen children have been shot and killed in the past year. St. Louis Public Radio invited 2 Normandy High School sophomores to talk with one another about their experiences and thoughts about guns in their community.
Hey, I'm Cassidy Stokes from Normandy High School, age 15, and I'm from St. Louis.
Hey, I'm Claudia Graham from Normandy High School, age 15, I'm from St. Louis. Okay, Cassidy, what was your first experience with guns?
One day, I was asleep at home, and my mama was upstairs doing somebody else, her, and my little brother had picked up a gun off the person who she was doing nightstand, and he had shot himself. It didn't go, and tore his skin, but, it grazed him, and he had to be rushed to the hospital.
How did you feel about that moment?
Like, it was just scared because it was my younger brother. Like, I expect it'll be, like, me or my big brother to ever encounter with a gun. So, it just scared me. What scares you about guns, Claudia?
What scared me about guns is that people they take other people's lives for granted. Like, they do not care. They just shoot for no reason. And anybody could be around, but, like, bullets don't have no names on them. So, it could hit anybody. They don't think before they do their actions.
If we keep using it as, like, how we do now, it's not going to get any better for us.
How can you abstain from gun violence when it's so easy to be involved?
Like, it's so easy to get a gun nowadays illegally. So, like, you can find a gun, or, somebody will give you a gun nowadays. Like, or you probably want a gun because you feel like you need it. You never know, but you don't really need it. You're not supposed to need it because that's not how you're supposed to feel in a public environment. You're always supposed to feel safe in your environment. How do you stay safe in your community? Like, how do you make it home safe every day?
I make it home safe every day by just praying.
What are some solutions that will make people put the guns down?
Some solutions that make people put the guns down is if leaders and stuff, if they choose to put their guns down, be like, this not right, we need to stop, like, killing each other and stuff. So they gonna put the guns down too.
I agree with you. I think people nowadays just like violence, and it's not a good thing. So we just need more role models in the world to show them that we don't need that. And it can be us, for real. Like, they think it's older people that need it, but it's really us. It's not a lot of older people dying from gun violence. Right now, it's a lot of teenagers dying. Our closest friends dying, like, out here in these streets, because it's really dangerous.
Do you feel safe knowing that St. Louis is surrounded by guns?
I feel safe in certain parts, I'm going to be honest. Like, in different parts of St. Louis, it's high and low. So I just try to keep my head in the right lane and don't try to go and mess with nobody. Like, even just a little car crash can turn into a gunfight.
Yeah, like you said, in some parts of St. Louis, I do feel safe, but not all the parts, because I know, like, it's some bad parts in St. Louis.
Yeah.
But it's hard to do that because people, they think different from us. It's just they hate and all that bad stuff. They go against each other.
I just think coming together will do it for us. Like, it's not really hard. I seen it happen multiple times in St. Louis. So just coming together will be the thing we need to stop the gun violence. Like, we'll be a better world, better community, better St. Louis. That's all I want.
That was Cassidy Stokes and Claudia Graham, sophomores at Normandy High School. Our Ryan Delaney produced that conversation. Maria Altman was the editor. Shula Newman is the executive editor of St. Louis Public Radio. Music by Ryan McNeely of Adult Fur. I'm Wayne Pratt. From the St. Louis Public Radio Newsroom, this has been The Gateway.
Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association. Missouri produces wood pallets, railroad ties, white oak barrels, hardwood floors, and more. Details on the variety of products made in the state are at choosewood.com.